What's up, guys? If you're new here, welcome. If you're, back again this week, welcome back. I post every Friday, or at least I try to, something either on my old Bronco or my OBS Ford F250. That's an overland build, product reviews, adventures. I don't know, I have some videos on rebuilding an old Evinrude motor. Anyway, that's not what today's about. If you've seen my last few videos, I am chasing an oil leak on my 96 7.3 Powerstroke. It started probably 6 weeks ago, made a big oil stain out in front of the house, drove me mad. I thought it was turbo pedestal. I replaced that, did a high flow outlet. That made it significantly better. Then I found a loose valve cover bolt, and by loose I mean missing. It's all the same. And so I replaced that, or put a bolt in there. That made it considerably better, but there is still a leak somewhere. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to use some UV dye, throw some UV dye in the motor or in the oil, and I'm going to figure out where the hell this is coming from. So what I did is I bought some TSI Super Cool. I don't know. I bought it off Amazon. Multi-purpose total dye. I think this will serve everything I need. This truck takes 15 quarts of oil. I'm going to do a full oil change right now, just to make sure that it needs one anyway. Might as well. And I'll throw the dye in. I think dye, what I've read, lasts 500 plus miles, so it won't harm anything. It'll stay in there for my full life of the oil. Won't harm anything. I am a Rotella T6 fanboy, so I'm going to use T6. I'm going to throw some Hot Shots FR3 in it as well. And since I'm out of my good filters, my K&N filters, I picked up a micro guard from the store. So that's what I'm going to do. You're going to see underneath. I'll show you the oil leak I'm chasing. Most of you will probably hate me because it's very, very minor. And I'm guessing if you're using dye to chase an oil leak, most likely it's not so minor. But let's see what I'm looking at here. So it's coming down the bell housing. It's very, very minor, but my motor's dry, guys. And I really pride myself on having these old Fords be dry, but there is a very little bit coming down off the bell housing here. See, just a little bit there. And so I'm gonna figure out what it is. And we're gonna get this solved. So first things first, gonna drain the oil, and we're gonna get some dye in there. Keep those fingers clean. All right. Let's let it drain on out. And once it gets mostly drained, we'll, there we go. We'll pull the filter, do the change, and throw some dye in. All right, we will call that good. Should I cross thread it? That would be pretty cool. There's that. Now let's try to get this wicks off. Fuck me. Oh, Lordy. Wow, guys. I have never had a filter hang up on me like that. That is crazy. Well, that was an asshole move. Ugh. Well, good Lord, that was a mess. I don't know how the filter got stuck on there the way it did. I changed my own oil, so you're looking at the guy who's in charge of that problem. And then I dropped the filter, so that was fun. You know, first time working on a car, I guess. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to get microguard filter filled up with oil. I might actually throw the dye in the oil so I don't drop it somehow, or into the oil filter so I somehow don't drop it into the on top of the engine. Figure this is the cleanest way to do it. So that's, I think, what I'm going to do. All right. So this super cool oil dye takes, I guess it's a total dye. It takes anything: gasoline, diesel fuel, power steering, trans, brake fluid, motor oil, hydraulic fluid, etc. A 1/4 ounce per quart. So I have 15 quarts-ish in this truck, or that's what it takes. So that's what I'm going to go for. So that means like 4-ish ounces. Is that right? Yeah, 4-ish ounces in here. So I'm going to put that actually in. I'll just dump it into the filter itself. So each thing full is a half ounce. So I need 8 of those. One ounce, 1.5, 2 ounce, 2.5, 3 ounce, 3.5, and I'm just gonna do 3.75. Ah, fuck it, I'll do 4. It is bright, it is neon, and it is now in my filter. I am not concerned about what it's gonna do, because that's just how I am. So, gonna fill this up with, I actually have a leftover 1540. I use 540 in this truck, but I have some 1540 here. So just gonna fill her up with some 1540. And I always obviously pre-fill my filters. I just feel like this is gonna be the cleanest way for me to get this dye in the motor. I'll call that good. She's fairly full there. All right, I'm gonna go throw the filter on, and then we're gonna fill her up top. All right. Filter is on. The rest of my oil's up here, plus my FR3 friction reducer. I haven't used this stuff yet, but I figure, can't hurt. Although if it doesn't help, it is expensive, so I hope it helps. We'll see. I'll get her in and top her off. We are gonna call, is it gonna fill, is it gonna, you can't see it. We're gonna call that full. There you go. You probably still can't tell. We're gonna say that's full. All right, so now that we are completely filled up, I've got the dye in there. I've got 15-ish quarts of oil. The FR3 by Hot Shots. All the motor. I'm going to have to drive it for a couple weeks now, or a week. I'll check it probably nightly just to see, all right, is there anything showing? And I'll show you how you check this, because I'm sure you're wondering how you figure this out. So you'll need a Blacklight if you don't know that. There you go. But if you see here, look at how bright that is. It just glows under a black light. So what you'll do is you'll get under there, shine your black light up there and say, all right, where's it leaking? You'll be able to chase the leak. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll be back once I find the leak. Like I said, I'll check it nightly and we'll figure out where the heck this thing's leaking from. So I'll see you in a bit. All right, guys, it's been about a week. It's been 300-ish miles. So they say this oil dye lasts for about 500. So I don't have any more drips, but I'm guessing there's been some oil that's run out, because I still have some of the underside of this of my bell housing that has some oil on it, or some moisture on it, I'll say. So again, my leak's not bad, but it's something I still want to trace. So let me find my Blacklight, which I think is right underneath the hood, and we'll check it out. And so how this works is, that dye is ultraviolet fluorescent. I don't know what the heck you call it, but obviously it shines really bright in under blacklight. So we can kind of run underneath here, check everything out. I'll show you what we'll see. So you'll start to look, and this shows up a lot better under when it's dark out, so it's hard to see up here, but I kind of ran through here and I'm not seeing anything actually surprisingly in the valley that has oil on it, or that's fluorescent. But here's what I did find. Let's run underneath, and oh gosh, if you look, even the underside has very, very little fluorescent. There's a little around the drain plug, but here's where it's really coming from. If we look up top, you can see, let's see if I can get, see it? Look how bright that is. So where I'm looking, it looks like it's coming from the valve cover, and if we get it from a different angle, you'll be able to see it pretty easily. So coming right out of that valve cover. So it looks like it's coming down from the back of that valve cover right there, and then draining down the head onto the top of the transmission and down. So that's the cool thing about this oil dye, is because watch, see, you can't see it now, but once you turn that on, look at how freaking bright it glows. So it's what it's saying is I've got most likely either a bad gasket or a loose bolt on that valve cover. So I'm going to go in there, tighten this up. I'll actually brake clean that off, and then run another thing of oil dye through there to make sure it sealed it up. So guys, that's how you use this oil dye. And I know this might seem kind of silly, but with an old 7.3, look, they're coated in oil underneath most of the time. So finding an actual oil leak's pretty difficult, especially a fresh one. Now I brake cleaned it all off and got as much off as I could, but still, it's hard to completely trace it. But with this dye, you can trace it exactly down to where it's leaking. Much easier to see, even though that was really easy to see when it's dark out. But you can kind of trace it down to the exact spot, address it. Mine is just gonna be tightening up a couple bolts, and then retest it. I'll retreat it and test it and check it again here in another week or so. So guys, hope this helps you guys find your oil leaks and kind of understand how to use this oil dye. I just used, again, there's zero affiliation with these guys, but I'll throw the link down below. This super cool multi-purpose dye. It works for anything. Power steering, oil, hydraulic fluid, gas, diesel, power, transmission, brake fluid. It works for everything. So it's safe on everything, which is awesome. But yeah, just a quick video on how you guys can chase down some leaks and keep these trucks buttoned up and working as best they can. Guys, I'll see you next week. You have a good one.